In November 1952, 3 separate military transport planes disappeared in snowstorms near Alaska. Airman Isaac William Anderson Sr. was a 21-year-old Air Force serviceman on board one of those flights.
There were 3 planes that went missing with my grandfather's, 2 C-119s, the 7th and the 15th, and then my grandfather's on the 22nd.
Tonja Anderson-Dell's grandfather's remains were not recovered at the time due to inclement weather. That kept the Air Force from finding the vanished planes on their initial passes.
What drove me was, you always hear we never leave our fallen behind. And I felt at that point our government didn't hold true, because you did leave the fallen behind. You left those 52 out there on that glacier.
Within the Department of Defense is the POW MIA accounting agency, known as the DPAA. Their job is to recover service members from conflicts around the world. But there is no agency that recovers those considered an operational loss, like when a plane crashes while transporting troops from one duty station to another.
So after the initial search, they do not go back and look for these men and women unless somebody like me comes to them and asks them, and it becomes a fight at that point, even at that. And I feel at the end of the day, these men and women died serving their country, whether it's at war or at not. When you tell these families we do not leave our fallen behind, hold true to all of them. If it gets off course and it crashes, after the initial search, if they do not find them, they don't go back and look for them. My grandfather, gave you an example, DPAA did the first 2 recoveries. The moment that they found out my grandfather's plane was an operational loss, they were stripped from it. Their money is not for that type of crash. And that's not fair. What makes their crashes or their loss of life any different than theirs? Yes, they died fighting for our country, but these men died serving their country as well.
In 1999, Tonja began a letter-writing campaign to recover her grandfather. Her goal later became returning the bodies of all the passengers on the C-124 Globemaster to their loved ones.
So the Air Force said, contact the Navy said the Marines, and it was, full circle, but I didn't take no for an answer.
In 2003, Tonja's house caught on fire. Her family lost everything, except for one box. In it, her years of letters and research for getting her grandfather home.
It was a sign, because we literally lost everything. And like a movie, the fireman came and asked us, and I said, if the room is still standing, this is what I would like. And he came through the fire, the smoke and all that, and the box with all of my years of work was still in there.
Hundreds of letters and emails later, and 60 years after the initial crash, Tonja's efforts paid off. On June 10, 2012, the C-124 Globemaster was found. 6 years after that, in 2018, Isaac Anderson's remains were discovered, along with his dog tags. And in 2019, more than 65 years after his plane vanished, Isaac Anderson Sr. finally came home.
We've all signed this flag. This is part of your family now.
Tonja's hard work was recognized in a ceremony near her home in Tampa, Florida, by the Tribute to the Troops organization.
Because we are free, because of people like your grandfather, who were not afraid to go against the grain, who had the brains and the intelligence and the wherewithal to help us protect our nation. And we are honored to say that we will never forget. This is Isaac Anderson's family.
Tonja could have given up on her search, but her family encouraged her to continue.
I lost my husband in January of this year after being together for 23 years. My husband was my biggest cheerleader, and I get up every day now for him. He is the reason why I will continue to keep doing this, along with all of those families who have picked up the phone, who have called me and said, hey, can you just help me seek closure from my airmen or my seamen or my Marine or my Coast Guard, whatever it may be.